The Galactic classroom was full of strange faces, blue skin, glowing eyes, long tails, and sharp teeth. Students from across the galaxy sat in curved rows, excited to learn about the most dangerous planets in the universe. At the center stood Professor Tharn, a tall, serious-looking alien with gray skin and deep scars on his arms. He had visited more planets than anyone else in the room. His stories were always shocking, and his voice carried a weight that made even the toughest students listen. Today's lesson was about Deathworlds, planets so dangerous that most species refused to go near them. The list had names no one could pronounce, filled with fire, storms, poison air, or deadly beasts. But one name stood out at the bottom of the list: Earth. The word was simple, short, and quiet. But next to it, in red letters, was written, Class 5 Deathworld, Extreme. A young alien named Creel raised his hand and laughed. Professor, why is Earth on the Deathworld list? It looks so small. I heard humans don't even have claws or scales. The other students chuckled. Some whispered jokes about humans being soft and weak. One student with crystal skin said, they wear clothes because their bodies can't even survive cold air. But Professor Tharn didn't laugh. His eyes narrowed, and his voice dropped lower. You think it's a joke? He asked slowly. The room became silent. I was there, he continued, many years ago. I landed on Earth with a science team. It was supposed to be a simple research mission. We thought it was a green, harmless planet full of peaceful creatures. But we were wrong. So very wrong. Now the students sat straight, the jokes forgotten. Earth does not look dangerous, Tharn said. That's what makes it deadly. It hides its dangers well. But it doesn't just kill with wild animals or volcanoes. Earth kills with everything. The air, the gravity, the weather, even the humans themselves. Another student blinked, confused. But humans are just small creatures with weak skin. They don't even live long. The professor stepped closer. His voice was calm but sharp. You say humans are weak because you only look at their bodies. But Earth made them strong in a different way. It taught them how to suffer, how to survive pain, how to keep fighting when there is no hope. One of the students shifted in her seat. What happened to your team, Professor? He looked away for a moment. His hand gently touched the scars on his arm. We landed near a forest. The first thing we noticed was the gravity. It was too strong. One of my team collapsed right after we stepped out of the ship. Then the bacteria in the air started affecting our lungs. We had advanced suits, but even those weren't enough. Then came the rain, cold and full of something corrosive. Our machines failed. The forest was alive, too alive. It moved. It watched us. The room stayed quiet. Not even a breath could be heard. And then, he said, we saw them. Humans. Gasps moved through the classroom. One student whispered, what did they do? They smiled, the professor said simply. They welcomed us. They offered help, food, and shelter. We didn't understand. Why would they help us? But they did. And while we healed in their small shelters, they told us stories. Stories of surviving freezing mountains, of fighting wild beasts, of wars that burned cities. They told these stories calmly, like it was normal, like pain was a friend. The students looked at each other, uneasy now. One child told me how her parents died in a fire. She survived by hiding under a table. She was 6 years old. She smiled when she told me the story. Professor Tharn paused. That's when I understood. Earth is not dangerous because of what you see. It's dangerous because of what it makes. It makes humans. And humans are something the galaxy has never seen before. Suddenly, the classroom lights flickered. A small alert beeped from the corner of the room. It was just a system check, but some students jumped. Professor Tharn gave a sad smile. You laugh at Earth because you have never faced it. But even now, no one dares to invade that little blue planet. Not after what we've learned. A silence followed that felt heavier than gravity. No one dared to speak. Even Creel, who had started the joke, looked pale and quiet. Then the professor said one last thing. Earth is not just a death world. It's a teacher. It teaches pain, it teaches loss, but most of all, it teaches strength. And the humans, they listened well. The room stayed still as the students stared at the red word again, Earth. But now, no one laughed. The alien ship moved slowly through Earth's sky, hidden behind thick clouds. It was small and silent, built to avoid human radar. Inside, Professor Tharn sat with his team of 5 scientists. They all wore protective suits made for harsh environments. Their mission was simple: land near a human city, study the planet's life, and leave quietly. Earth looked peaceful from above: green forests, blue oceans, white clouds. It didn't look deadly, but Tharn's hand stayed tight on his chair. He had a strange feeling in his chest. Something was wrong, but he couldn't say what. The ship landed in a clearing near the edge of a forest. Birds flew away as the engines powered down. The door opened, and the team stepped outside. The gravity hit them first, heavier than they expected. One of the scientists, Rel, stumbled and nearly fell. Careful, Tharn warned. Earth pulls harder than your home planet. The air was thick and full of smells: wet plants, damp soil, strange flowers. Their filters blocked most of it, but it still made one alien cough. The suits began to collect data immediately. Temperature normal. Air pressure high. No known toxins. Everything seemed fine. Too fine. The team moved toward a hill. From there, they saw a human town in the distance. Small buildings, cars, and people moving about their daily lives. It all looked peaceful, quiet, safe. Are these the humans everyone fears? One scientist asked. They look so normal. Tharn didn't answer. His eyes were locked on something else. One of their small survey bots had stopped moving. Then another. One by one, the machines powered down. They checked the signal. It was full strength. The bots just shut off. This can't be right, Rel said, trying to restart one of them. They were working perfectly before landing. Tharn's face grew serious. It's the planet. Earth doesn't like outsiders. This isn't just failure. This is resistance. Suddenly, a loud noise cracked in the distance. Thunder rolled over the forest, and dark clouds began to form fast, too fast. Wind picked up. Leaves flew in every direction. The temperature dropped quickly. A storm? Another team member asked. It wasn't on the scan. Earth's weather changes in minutes, Tharn replied. We need shelter. They rushed back to the ship, but the wind grew stronger. Rain poured down in thick sheets. Their suits struggled to stay dry. Water got into the cracks. The storm felt angry, like it wanted them gone. A flash of lightning hit a tree nearby. It exploded in fire and smoke. The team jumped back. One alien slipped into a ditch, nearly breaking his leg. Another screamed as his scanner sparked and went dead. Stay together, Tharn shouted. We waited out in the ship. They finally made it back inside, wet, cold, and shaken. The ship shook under the wind's power. Even the walls creaked. Earth was not welcoming them. It was warning them. Hours passed before the storm finally slowed. The rain became soft. The sky cleared. Sunlight returned. The team sat in silence, exhausted and unsure. Rel checked the system. The storm wasn't natural, he said slowly. It followed us. It formed around us. Before anyone could answer, a beeping sound echoed through the ship. Life form detected, the computer said. They looked at the screen. A small figure was standing near the edge of the clearing, alone, watching them. It's a child, one scientist whispered. The image showed a human girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old, with a red jacket and messy hair. She wasn't scared. She looked curious. She took one step forward. Should we hide? Someone asked. No, Thorin said, standing. Let me go. The door opened again. Thorin stepped out alone. The girl tilted her head. She held something in her hand, a small toy, a wooden animal. She raised it toward him as if giving a gift. Thorin slowly walked forward. The air felt heavy again. Every step was harder. The planet was watching. Testing. The girl smiled and said something in her own language. He couldn't understand, but it wasn't angry. It was soft, warm, like a welcome. He bent down and accepted the toy. Behind him, one of the scientists whispered inside the ship, "She's just a child." Why does this feel scarier than the storm? Thorin looked back at his team and then at the girl. Because even their children are shaped by this world, he said. If Earth can teach a child to stand alone, unafraid of the unknown, imagine what it does to an adult. The girl waved and walked away into the forest. No fear, no hesitation. The ship stayed silent. And Tharn knew this was only the beginning. The night on Earth came fast. Professor Tharn and his team watched the skies darken through the ship's windows. Stars began to appear, but the forest around them was still and quiet, too quiet. It wasn't like other alien worlds where night was peaceful. Here, silence felt like a warning. Inside the ship, the team reviewed the data from the day. Every scan showed strange results. The storm, the gravity spikes, even the plants, nothing acted the way it should. And none of it made sense. Rel rubbed his head. It's like the planet is alive. No, Tharn said softly. It's like the planet is aware. Just then, the ship lights flickered. A power surge. Then another. Is it the storm again? A crew member asked, his voice shaking. No clouds outside, Rel replied. But look at this. He pointed to a screen showing strange energy patterns. The energy didn't come from the sky. It came from below. The ground? Tharn asked. Rel nodded. It's like something beneath us is reacting to us. That's when they heard it. A low growl, not from inside, from just outside the ship. Then another, and another, multiple growls. Heavy footsteps, branches snapping. Everyone froze. Rel moved slowly to a window and looked out. His face turned pale. We're surrounded. Tharn walked over. Through the glass, he saw shapes in the shadows, four-legged creatures with glowing eyes and sharp teeth. Wolves, but much larger and faster. They moved together, circling the ship. One of the aliens panicked. Turn on the ship's defense field. They tried, but the ship system didn't respond. It's not working, Rel said. Something's jamming it. Outside, the wolves came closer. One of them jumped to the side of the ship, leaving a deep dent in the metal. These animals shouldn't even know what a ship is, another team member said. Why are they attacking it like they understand? Because, Tharn said darkly, on Earth, everything adapts. Everything learns, even the wild beasts. The crew backed away from the walls as the ship shook again. The wolves didn't try to break in. They were testing, waiting, surrounding them like prey. Then the door alarm beeped. Motion detected, the ship's voice said. Everyone looked at the entrance. A red light blinked above it. Something's trying to open the door, Rel whispered. Weapons drawn, they moved into position. But before they could react, the alarm stopped. The blinking light turned green. Door unlocked, the ship said. No, lock it again. Tharn shouted. Too late. The door hissed open, but no wolf entered. Instead, standing there calmly, was a human. A man, tall, dirty clothes, eyes like steel. He didn't look surprised. He didn't even look scared. He looked bored. Hello, he said in English, his voice deep and steady. You lost. The crew pointed weapons at him, but he didn't flinch. I saw your ship come down, he said. You picked a bad forest. These wolves, they're just the first wave. First wave? Rel asked. The man nodded. This is their territory. You're not the first to land here, but you might survive if you come with me. Who are you? Tharn asked. The man's lips curled into a small smile. Someone who grew up learning not to die. That's what Earth teaches. You either learn fast, or you don't live long. Behind him, the wolves had stopped moving, watching, waiting. You were not afraid of them, one alien asked. The man turned, whistled, and the wolves backed off. Not ran, backed off, like soldiers obeying a command. They're smart, the man said, but not smarter than us. Tharn couldn't believe what he was seeing. This man wasn't special. No armor, no weapons, just calm confidence and cold eyes. You tamed them? Tharn asked. No, the man replied. I survived them. That's the difference. He looked around at the crew. You want to understand Earth. You can't just scan it. You have to walk through it. Get scratched, get hungry, lose something. Then you'll know why this place is feared. Tharn lowered his weapon slowly. And you're offering to help. The man stepped back and held out his hand. I'm offering to show you. Behind him, the forest grew darker. More eyes appeared in the trees. You can stay here, the man said, and let the Deathworld teach you the hard way. Or you can come with someone who already passed the test. The crew looked at Tharn. He looked back once at the red lights blinking on the scanner. More creatures coming. The planet was awake now. Tharn made his choice. Let's go. And just like that, they stepped off the ship and followed a human into the wild. Earth had just started to reveal its true face. The forest was darker now. The aliens followed the human man in silence. His name was Cole. He walked calmly like he knew every tree, every root, every sound. His steps were quiet, but fast. The aliens had trouble keeping up. Earth's gravity pulled at their legs. Their suits were made for science, not survival. Behind them, the wolves still watched, but didn't follow. Cole had controlled them somehow. That alone made the aliens nervous. Where are we going? Rel asked. To my camp, Cole said. It's safe for now. The forest whispered all around them, leaves rustling, insects chirping, far-off growls in the distance. The air felt heavy, thick with moisture and danger. Every sound made the aliens jump. Professor Tharn kept looking over his shoulder. Are we being followed? Cole didn't turn. Always. On Earth, something is always watching. One of the aliens tripped on a root. His scanner hit the ground and sparked. Broken. Careful, Cole said. Technology doesn't last long out here. Earth breaks everything eventually. After a long walk, they reached a small hill. On top stood a hidden shelter made of old metal and wood. It looked weak, but inside it was strong, reinforced, armored. Cole opened the heavy door and led them inside. There were strange things in the shelter, traps, bones of animals, dried food, sharp tools. It was a survivor's home, built from scratch, hard-earned. You live here alone? Tharn asked. For years, Cole said, since the collapse. Collapse, Rel repeated. Cole didn't answer. Instead, he handed them dried fruit. Eat. You'll need strength. They sat, ate, and rested. Cole poured water into metal cups. Tell me why you came. Tharn took a breath. We're scientists, from different worlds. We're studying Earth, trying to understand why it's called a Deathworld. Cole stared at him for a moment. Then he laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was cold, tired. You don't study a Deathworld, Cole said. You survive it, or you don't. We want to learn, Rel said. Then start here, Cole replied. You think Earth is deadly because of its animals or storms? No, that's just the surface. Earth kills you in ways you can't see. It breaks your mind, your body. It changes you. One of the aliens frowned. But the humans we saw in the town, they looked fine. Normal. Cole's eyes narrowed. That's the trick. You only saw them during the day. You didn't see what they hide at night, what they fear, what they fight. Earth doesn't allow weakness. Even children learn to stay alert. He walked to the back of the shelter and pulled out a faded map. You landed here, he said, pointing. Lucky. A quiet zone, but just a few miles west. Radiation fields. North, acid lakes. South, forests full of things that mimic your voice, just to lure you in. The aliens stared in shock. Cole folded the map and looked straight at Tharn. Now answer my question. Why do your kind care about Earth at all? Tharn paused. Then he spoke slowly. Because, he said, we've explored hundreds of planets. Thousands. But Earth, it doesn't fit. The data doesn't match the life. By all logic, humans shouldn't have survived here. But they did. Not just survived, they thrived. They built cities, machines, even space travel. On this planet, Cole didn't speak. Tharn continued, and that scares us. Because if humans can rise on the worst planet we've ever seen, what happens if they leave it for good? Cole looked at the floor, silent for a moment. Then he spoke, his voice quiet but firm. You're right to be scared. Suddenly, the shelter lights flickered. A sound came from the roof. A scratching, slow and steady. Cole jumped to his feet. Get away from the door. Now. Everyone moved. Weapons ready. Something landed hard on the roof. Then another, and another. Tharn whispered, What is it? Cole's face went pale. Hunters, not animals. Not human either. Something worse. The roof dented as heavy feet walked across it. Rel's hand shook. Why are they here? Because, Cole said, loading a rifle, you landed on Earth. And now, Earth knows you're here. A loud screech rang through the air, sharp and unnatural. The door shook. Cole raised his weapon and looked at Tharn. Lesson 2, he said. On a Deathworld, the question isn't if something will try to kill you. The question is when. The door cracked. And Earth answered. The door shook harder. Screeches echoed through the night air. The sound was high and sharp, like metal ripping in bones, snapping at the same time. The aliens covered their ears. It wasn't just painful. It made their minds feel strange, confused. What is that noise? Rel shouted. Cole didn't flinch. He stood by the door with his rifle aimed, eyes locked forward. It's not just a sound. It's a trick. They want to break your focus, make you panic. They? Tharn asked. Cole gave a short nod. Hunters, not wolves, not beasts. These things are smart, silent. They don't hunt for food. They hunt for fun. Suddenly, the roof creaked. One of the aliens looked up and screamed. A long shark claw punched through the ceiling. Cole fired. The shot was loud, and the claw twitched before pulling back. Black liquid dripped from the hole it made. "They're testing the shelter," Cole said, looking for a weak spot. Another bang, this time from the back wall. "They're surrounding us," Tharn whispered. "They were already here," Cole replied. "They've been waiting, watching. They knew the moment your ship landed." "But how?" Rel asked. "Because Earth listens," Cole said. "It hears new sounds, new smells, and everything here wants to know one thing lies at prey." Tharn felt cold, not from the air, but from fear. Real fear. For the first time in his life, he felt small. Cole pointed at a trapdoor under the shelter. "Get in." "What's down there?" Rel asked. "Escape tunnel. I built it years ago. It's narrow, but it leads to the caves. They won't follow us there." "Why not?" Tharn asked. Cole's eyes darkened. "Because even they're afraid of what's inside those caves." The team hesitated. Another crash from the side wall made their choice clear. They jumped into the trapdoor one by one. Cole was the last to go. He threw a small blinking device at the roof before closing the door. "Boom in 30 seconds, he said. The tunnel was tight and dark. The walls were wet. Strange sounds echoed in the distance, clicking, breathing, dripping water. They moved quickly. Above them, a loud explosion shook the ground. The shelter was gone. But so were the hunters, at least for now. After some time, they reached the cave entrance. Rel looked at the rocks. "It's too narrow." Cole squeezed through first. That's the point. Big things can't get in. They entered the cave. The air was cold. The walls glowed faintly with strange minerals. It was quiet, too quiet. Tharn touched the wall. "What lives here?" Cole answered without looking back. "You'll see." They walked deeper. The light from outside faded until only the cave's glow remained. Suddenly, Tharn noticed something strange on the walls, carvings, symbols, writings. "These are human symbols," he said. "Old ones." Cole stopped. "Yeah, this cave was a shelter long before I found it. Hundreds of years ago, survivors lived here after the collapse. Some say this was where the first resistance formed." "Resistance against what?" Rel asked. Cole turned and looked them in the eyes. "Against Earth itself." The aliens didn't understand. "You mean the planet?" one asked. "No," Cole said. "I mean everything it created. Everything it let live. The collapse wasn't just war. It was Earth pushing back. The climate, the beasts, the diseases, and then the humans that changed." "Changed how?" Tharn asked. Cole didn't answer. Not with words. Instead, he turned off his glove light. In the darkness, his eyes glowed faintly. Not from reflection, from something inside. The aliens stepped back. What are you?" Rel asked, voice shaking. Cole turned the light back on. His eyes looked normal again. "I'm still human," he said. "Just adapted. Earth changed me. It makes you change. Or you die." Tharn whispered, "Is that why you survived so long?" Cole nodded. "Earth didn't let me die, but it didn't let me stay soft either." Then he looked past them, deeper into the cave. "It's time you meet the others." "The others?" Rel asked. Cole gave a small grin. "You didn't think I was the only one, did you?" From the shadows, movement. Figures stepped out. Tall, silent, strong. More humans, different, hardened, eyes glowing faintly like coals. And behind them, weapons, gear, tools made from alien metal and earth bone. Cole looked back at Tharn. Your class came to study Earth. Now you'll experience it. Is this a prison? One alien asked. No, Cole said. This is school, and Earth is your teacher. The cave door closed behind them, and the true lesson began. The cave was silent again. The alien students stood close together, staring at the humans who had just stepped from the shadows. These were not like the humans in the cities. These were warriors, survivors. Their eyes glowed softly in the dark. Their muscles were lean, their faces marked with scars. They did not speak right away. They just watched. Cole raised a hand. The group relaxed. They're friends, he said. Like me, changed by Earth, trained by it. Thorn looked at one of the humans, a woman with silver eyes and a blade made of bone. How long have you been here? He asked. She finally spoke. Her voice was low but clear. Since I was a child. I was born in the ashes after the collapse. Earth raised me. Rel whispered, but how can you all survive like this? The gravity, the beasts, the storms. Another survivor spoke, an old man with a deep voice. Because Earth teaches those who listen, those who fight, those who adapt. Cole walked further into the cave. The walls now showed not just symbols, but old pictures. Battles, giant beasts, skies full of fire, cities crumbling. This is your answer, Cole said, to why Earth is called a Deathworld. The aliens followed slowly, watching the drawings on the walls. 1,000 years ago, Cole explained, Earth was alive, but it was sick. Humans made machines that poisoned the air. They cut forests, burned oceans. They made war after war. Thorn nodded. Yes, we read your records. It was called the Age of Steel. Cole's jaw tightened. Yes, and Earth got tired of it. So it fought back. How can a planet fight? One alien asked. Cole stopped walking. Through nature, through weather, through time, the ice melted, storms grew, fires spread, animals changed, and so did we. It wasn't magic, it was survival. Earth didn't kill us all. It made us earn our place again. The survivors nodded. Thorn looked around. But why live here? Why hide in caves? Cole pointed to a huge crack in the cave wall. It glowed faintly blue. We don't just hide, he said. We protect something, something ancient, something the cities forgot. He stepped through the crack. The aliens followed. Inside was a huge underground chamber. It was beautiful, glowing rocks, waterfalls, plants that moved on their own. But in the center stood a strange machine. Rusted, old, and very, very powerful. Thorn gasped. That's pre-collapse tech. It's older than anything we've seen. It's a core, Cole said. One of the last power hearts that once kept the world running. Rel asked, why didn't the cities take it? They tried, Cole replied, but Earth didn't let them. The beasts, the storms, the sickness, everything fought back. The land around this place is cursed. He stepped close to the machine. This core doesn't just give power. It holds memory. The memory of Earth. Before the wars. Before the fall, if it wakes, Earth will remember. Thorn was confused. Remember what? Us, Cole said. The real humans. The ones who still listen. Still fight for the planet, not against it. One of the aliens stepped forward. So you're protecting this world from your own kind? Cole nodded. Yes, the city people forgot. They live in bubbles, behind shields. But here is the truth. Earth is wild. Earth is alive. And Earth does not forget. Suddenly, the ground shook. Lights blinked on the machine. The old man with a deep voice frowned. Someone's trying to activate the core remotely. Cole's face turned serious. It's the city people. They found the signal. They want the power. If they turn it on, the woman said, Earth will rise again. And not kindly. Tharn stepped back. Wait, you mean, this core can wake the planet? Cole looked him in the eye. Yes, not just the land. The forces under it. Earth once had volcanoes sleeping beneath the surface. Earthquakes waiting in silence. If this core triggers them, it could destroy everything. Tharn finished, his voice shaking. Rel's hand trembled. We didn't mean to bring harm. We just wanted to learn. You still can, Cole said. But now you must choose. Stay and help us stop them. Or leave and let Earth decide your fate. Tharn looked at his classmates. Fear was in their eyes, but also something else. Respect. We'll stay, he said. We came for answers. Now we fight to protect them. Cole gave a small smile. Good, he said. Then your real lesson begins now. The cave rumbled again. Above ground, the skies darkened. Winds howled. The forest awakened. Earth had felt the old machine stir, and it was no longer sleeping. The ground didn't stop shaking. The glowing heart of the old machine, Earth's last power core, was now pulsing faster. Its ancient lights flickered like angry eyes. The air in the cave felt heavier, thicker, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Cole stared at the core. They've activated it remotely. We have less than 20 minutes before it wakes something we can't stop. Tharn looked pale. What do we do? We stop the signal, Cole said. The uplink must be coming from orbit. From a satellite. Rel shook his head. We didn't send one. No, Cole said. But your ship did. The aliens froze. You mean our ship is doing this? Not on purpose, Cole replied. But your people are watching. Maybe even listening. They saw the energy spike when we entered this cave. Now they want the core for themselves. The woman with silver eyes spoke. Then we give them a message they won't forget. She turned to the wall and opened a hidden panel. Inside were 2 old launch tubes. One was empty. The other still held a small missile. This is the last one we have, she said. If we fire it straight up, it'll hit the uplink. No more signal. Rel asked, what if they shoot back? Cole smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. Then Earth answers. He turned to the alien students. We need you. Not just to launch the missile, but to tell your people the truth. Tharn stepped forward. We'll do it. The team climbed out of the cave through a hidden path. The surface was worse than before. The sky had turned red. Lightning cracked above the forest. Trees swayed like they were alive. Strange creatures howled in the distance. Is it angry? One alien asked. Cole nodded. Earth is warning us. If we don't stop the signal, this world becomes fire. They reached a small clearing where the launcher stood. The old man worked the controls. 10 seconds to launch. Rel watched the clouds. I see the satellite. Cole looked at the students. This is your final lesson. Earth is not just deadly. It's wise. It gives chances, but not forever. Launch ready, the old man said. Fire, Cole ordered. The missile shot up with a roar. Everyone watched as it disappeared into the clouds. For a moment, silence. Then a bright flash in the sky. Boom. The satellite was gone. The lights on the core back in the cave turned dark. The shaking stopped. Earth grew still. The forest fell silent. They had done it. The planet was safe for now, but something in the air had changed. Cole turned to the aliens. Now you understand. Tharn nodded slowly. Earth is not just a death world. It's a judge. It watches. It remembers. Rel added, and it only allows the strong, the respectful, to stay. Cole smiled. You've learned well. But what now? Tharn asked. You go back, Cole said. Tell your people what you saw. Show them what Earth really is. What about you? One student asked. Cole looked out at the dark forest. We stay. We protect the core. We make sure no one wakes it again. The survivors nodded. The wind blew softly now, no longer violent. Tharn turned to his class. Let's go home. But we leave different than we came. As they walked back to their shuttle, they looked over their shoulders one last time. At the glowing trees. At the wild sky. At the humans who lived without fear in a world that could kill them at any moment. And still, they smiled. When they boarded the ship and left Earth's orbit, the stars looked different. Colder, quieter. Because now they knew the truth. Earth was not weak. Earth was not behind. It had simply chosen silence. And those who misunderstood that silence never returned. Back in the galaxy, Tharn spoke to the council. He said only one thing. Earth is a death world not because it kills, but because it teaches you to live or be forgotten. And the room fell silent, forever changed.